Alrighty, so here I'm joined by Konrad, which is the CEO of ESE. And if you guys have already done so, make sure to check out my thesis after we do go through a couple questions here. So, Konrad, how are you, first and foremost?
I'm great, man. I'm actually on the road at a big conference, so really excited and happy to be on the show.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I have a couple questions for you, and of course, we've talked in the past, when I built the thesis out and kind of when I updated it, and of course, the stock's been, doing quite nicely within the market. You guys have a lot of things going on, but I want to go over kind of the recent press releases and kind of the things that are going on within the pipeline right now. So, for those that are new to ESE, can you give us a quick overview of what the company does and why it's such an exciting player in the gaming and entertainment world?
Yeah, of course. I mean, fundamentally, we're the picks and shovels of, production, not only in gaming, but we've actually expanded our offering into traditional sports and entertainment by and large. So, big live events that need, custom fabrication, lighting, AR, VR, broadcasting. We do everything from A to Z.
Mhm.
And we've become one of the dominant players in the world specifically for gaming.
So ESC's had a pretty darn good 2025. Can you highlight us some recent achievements like your record-breaking financials and kind of the new partnerships that you just, PR'd, I guess, about a month ago?
Yeah, I think there's a huge correlation between our share price moving upwards and our record-breaking Q3 numbers. So we had 100% plus growth from Q2. Most importantly, we're positive EBITDA,
Yeah.
and we have a run rate of 15 million bucks. So it's really exciting, and we're primed for another strong Q4 and 2026. It looks like it's kind of snowballing for us. So just really strong numbers, and the market's starting to appreciate that.
Now, I'm going to speculate a little bit, and I don't know how much you can talk about or how much you want to share, and that's fair. But, I hear that there is more, potentially on the horizon with acquisitions. You guys have kind of, hinted at that in some of your recent press releases. Can you tell us more about the strategy there and how you're positioning ESC for the future?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's no secret. I love accretive acquisitions. We've done over 100 million in acquisitions in the past. Now that we're in a really strong position with Bombee, we will be exploring accretive acquisitions and cash flowing businesses to acquire. The goal for us is to get back to 100 million in revenue, and we're going to do that via acquisition, and we're going to get really aggressive over the next kind of 6 to 12 months.
Awesome. That's, fantastic to hear. So I guess with like the esports market, it's, obviously booming and traditional sports crossover. Why is it now a perfect time for ESC and what makes your team kind of stand out?
Yeah, I think it's blatantly obvious. The consolidation has already begun. So you have the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund. They just acquired Electronic Arts for 55 billion, one which is our client. Another one of our clients also got acquired for 1.5 billion by the Saudis.
Okay.
Consolidation is happening right now, and it's our opportunity to go out and consolidate and make us as big as possible so that we're also potentially a target for one of these big groups. But the real players are really standing out. We're
Hmm.
very tech driven. We have a young team, and that's kind of our differentiator. We're leveraging technology for all our events, and we have just a young, hungry team, and we're gobbling up a lot of business.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I mean, from a shareholder's perspective, which I am, I mean, that's exactly what we want to hear. And speaking of the value, ESC stocks trading around, today, 13 and a half, 14 cents, with the market cap still under 10 million, yet peers like Overactive Media, GameSquare are valued, much higher on the revenue with multiples. Why do you think ESC is undervalued and, what do you think investors should watch for going forward?
I really believe it's just Bombee is a newer acquisition. So we just acquired them under a year ago, and
Hmm.
people are starting to finally realize with the fresh news releases and what we're doing of our true value. And our
Hmm.
peers are trading at, several times what we're trading at right now. So I think it's a very unique opportunity for investors to look at the numbers and do the math, and we're clearly undervalued. And the reality is, it's a huge opportunity for us to continue to scale and for investors to come in, at a bottom floor.
Yeah. I think one of the, the key things, and just to add to kind of what you're saying, what, I typically look for is when you get that transition from, not profitable to profitable, that's kind of when things, tend to change quite a bit. Can you speak a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's indicative of the share price, right? We put out profitable Q3 numbers, and we had a big jump in our share price.
Mhm.
And our core focus is going to be to continue to turn out profitable quarters. And I think we're going to see that same sentiment from the market. And in addition to that, they're going to see the revenue growth on top of that. So we're headed in a very clear direction, and it's upwards. And I think it's once again an opportunity for investors and shareholders to look at us a little bit closer, and realize that we are significantly undervalued compared to our peers and what's happening on the market.
Love it. And, I always look forward to see kind of, where a company can get to. And I want to understand, lastly, what's your bold vision for ESE over the next few years? If you could paint a picture for our viewers.
Yeah, I just like to use reality and comps that are out there. Like I said, our clients are exiting in the hundreds of millions and billions of dollars.
Mhm.
That's always been our goal, right? Our big blue sky vision is to first get over that 100 million revenue mark, to pursue $1 billion valuation. That's always been our vision internally,
Mhm.
and we're just going to keep driving to get to that level.
Well, that's quite incredible. And, I think there's a lot of exciting things on the horizon for you guys, and we'll continue to watch and, cover you guys. And thanks for popping on the little webinar we have going on here, Konrad.
Yeah, of course. I mean, as you could tell, I'm super excited. I think maybe just the last point is,
Hmm.
we haven't really expanded into traditional sports yet. We've only done it for about 6 months, so we're just getting our feet wet. But that is a huge opportunity. It's $100 billion addressable market, and we're going to be attacking that very hard. And as a former professional athlete, I think I have a strong competitive advantage to tackle that space. So that's kind of our big driver right now. We're super excited about that. So it's great timing to be on, and just to let everyone know that we're just getting started.
Awesome. Well, guys, if you want to learn more about ESE, you can click the link in the description. It could be linked to the thesis as well as our website. Check it out. Plenty more to come. Thanks for watching.